The one-year anniversary of the Hamas attack on Israel, a day that changed the world and marked the beginning of a bloody conflict in the Middle East.
I want to go back to Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger live in Tel Aviv. Josh, I know you've spent a number of visits there to Israel since October 7th. We also know the violence continues to grow there. Israel now fighting on multiple fronts, even more rocket fire this morning. Describe the situation and what Israelis are facing here 1 year later after October 7th.
Mike, it's such a complicated environment, and it's so difficult for people sort of to get their arms around what's happening here. You do have such a threat environment, so many, fronts that this country is currently fighting on. They have become more aggressive in the last day or two in Gaza, with a resurgence, they say, of Hamas in areas they'd already cleared once or twice. They are more aggressive again in Beirut, targeting more Hezbollah terror targets, and of course, Netanyahu has yet to respond to Iran's aggression from last week when they fired more than 200 ballistic missiles at Israel. Netanyahu really has been saber-rattling that the response is going to be very ferocious, and that has a lot of people concerned because, of course, the more intense the response, the more intense the counter response would be from Iran. Netanyahu did show up today at a war memorial in Jerusalem to pay respects to October 7th victims, but there is a major division in Israeli society that has developed since October 7th, Mike. After October 7th, this society came together in a way it hadn't in several years. But since it's become apparent that the hostages will not be coming home anytime soon, Netanyahu has apparently increased conditions and has not been negotiating along with Hamas. Neither side has been really working to reach an agreement that has been attempted to be brokered by the United States. A lot of hostage families have sort of disavowed Benjamin Netanyahu, and so the official government-related memorial services that the government wanted to put on today, the hostage families, many of them, not all of them, but many of them, are boycotting. And so as a result, we have these very large organic events like the one where we went today down at the in the desert right near the Gaza line. This is where the Nova Music Festival was taking place, where more than almost 400 people were slaughtered on October 7th. The government was not involved in that particular memorial service. So Netanyahu has sort of been keeping a very low profile today. He did show up at that event, and the official governmental events, and actually another one that is scheduled that's not related to the government, that is here in Tel Aviv, was scheduled for tonight to be maybe 40 or 50,000 people strong. But back to Iran, because of the situation with Iran, large gatherings have been banned. So you can't have a gathering more than 1,000 people. So it's very difficult for people even to come together right now to mourn and to reflect on a year of this nightmare. A very complex situation and a lot of emotions today throughout the state of Israel and here in Tel Aviv. Mike.
Josh, thank you. We know you're going to continue to share these personal stories and those complexities you speak of throughout the day here on Channel 7.